Hello and welcome to Ask a Web Geek. My name is CJ Gilbert, and you're joining us for episode 40 of Ask a Web Geek. This is CJ Gilbert. I'm a web developer in San Diego, California. I call myself the Web Safari Guide, and that's because my clients tell me that the internet is a jungle. It's so easy to get lost and not end up where you want to go, and there's distraction, and there's hidden traps, and there's quicksand, and there's all kinds of people distracting you from where you want to go. And I'm here to help lead you through that jungle and help you get where you want to go. And today, we're going to be talking about how to create a border, a scene, just like you see here in front of you on my show. Now, if you've been a fan of the show, if you've been watching me for the last year and a half, hopefully you've seen the production quality go up just a little bit. But for the most part, I've been using this same kind of setup with my jungle background and my logos and that kind of thing. But the thing that's been new is starting in December, I started using it inside of Zoom calls as my little square in the Zoom room. And that got some attention, and that got some folks asking me, how are you doing that? How do you do that? I want to do it too. So we've had enough people ask that today I'm going to present to you how you can do this same thing. And there's a lot of applications. I'm going to teach you how to use some software that you can use to create your own show. You could go live in Facebook. You could go live on YouTube. You don't even have to go live with it. You can just use it to record yourself locally and produce a show with it. I use it for all of those things. I use it to go live on Facebook. I use it to go live on Twitch, and I use it to record locally to my computer. And I'm now able to use it as a virtual camera inside of Zoom so that you can see this as my camera inside of Zoom. That's going to make you stand out a lot. Now, I want to encourage you right from the beginning, it doesn't have to be as complicated as I make things. As you can imagine, I'm the web geek, so I like to click every button and figure out what every setting does and go through everything I can. You don't have to do that. You can start as simple as possible. Let me just demonstrate my simple one. Check out this view. This is the one I like to use a lot in Zoom because it's got this black background border, and then it's got a real simple green border right here, and then it's got a couple of my logos right here below. If you do this very simple setup, it's going to set you apart from everybody else on that Zoom call, because no one else is going to have their logo in the corner like this or like this. How cool is that, right? So I'm going to show you how to do that, and then you can make it as complicated as you want. You can have a background behind it like this one. I like to use my jungle theme, as you know. So I'm going to show you how to do this. Start as simple as you can. There's a lot of steps, but I know you can take every single one of these steps. And the beauty of this being recorded is you can pause, you can go back, you can rewind, and you can just take one step at a time. So before we jump into the material, I got a lot to go over with, but I want to show you our featured animal of the week. Now, if you've been with me, you've seen him before. It's our little Bengal tiger. And the tiger is our featured animal of the week because it's a new year and we are getting pumped up. We are getting ready to do some business here in 2021. Maybe you've been working on your plan. Maybe you've been working on your goals, and now it's time to take action. So today I'm bringing you our little jungle friend. I'm bringing you our tiger as a symbol that you are the tiger in your jungle today. I want you to take action. I want you to be the tiger. Take action and get those results. Remember our tiger friend as you go forward. All right, gonna pop off the hat. We're gonna jump into the slideshow, and now it's time to Ask a Web Geek. This is the show, Ask a Web Geek. It's a Facebook group, it's a YouTube show. I'm going to show you all the places that you can get involved. Ask a Web Geek with CJ Gilbert. This is the show where we say, what would you like to ask a web geek? I believe and I teach that your website is your number one tool. Your website is your number one tool to grow and support your business. And I've been saying this for years, but I've got to keep saying it. I've got to say it even louder, even stronger. Your website is the only thing that you can fully own and control on the internet. Your website is the only thing you can fully own and control on the internet. There's a lot of other websites out there. There's a lot of other social platforms out there, and they're all telling you to come use their platform. And you should. Your audience is there. The people are there. Use the platforms. Absolutely use the platforms. I'm using a whole bunch of them. We're on Facebook right now. This is then going to go to YouTube. It's going to go to my website. I'm going to be live on Twitch later today. I use all the platforms, but I know the bottom line is your website is the only thing you can fully own and control on the internet. And because of that, it's your number one tool. Use it, embrace it, because if you think of it like that, it should enhance each aspect of your business. It'll help you attract more customers, make more sales, enhance your customer service. All these things increase your efficiency. They help you save time, save money, and serve your clients better, faster, and easier. I want to take just a moment to congratulate you. Congratulations. If you're listening to my voice, if you're watching this video, if you're listening to this as a podcast, congratulations, because you're the kind of person that's taking steps to improve your business. And I just want to say good for you. It's a small percentage of people in the world that are actively looking to improve their life, improve their situation, and you're clearly one of those people. So thank you for being here today. Give yourself a pat on the back and say you're in the right place at the right time. Ask a Web Geek. Here's how it works real quick. Check out last week's episode. I did go into a little more depth about how it works, which I don't want to do today because I've got so much material to teach you. So let me say real briefly, it starts in our Facebook group. If you haven't joined our Facebook group yet, please do that. Links everywhere, links below, links at AskAWebGeek.com. The first thing to do is join our Facebook group. That's where you can go and ask any questions that you have on websites, social media, podcasting, using your computer, whatever questions you have, come to Ask a Web Geek and let us know. The whole community is there to help you. And if I can, I'll cover your question on a show and show you exactly what to do and how to answer your question. So join our Facebook group, then subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/AskAWebGeek. We have an official YouTube address now, thanks to my community subscribing there, youtube.com/AskAWebGeek. You can also go to askawebgeek.com. The link's right there at the top. To get to the Facebook and the YouTube pages. So please subscribe there. We film the show together live with the community on Wednesday mornings in the Facebook group. And then over the weekend, I do a little slice and dice and add some music and intro and throw the bloopers at the end just to make you laugh. And that video goes up on YouTube, and then it goes to my website as the official show of the show, the official podcast, the official video show. One of those words should work. And then follow on Twitter. If you're a Twitter user, I'm also there at AskAWebGeek. You can ask questions there, interact with me there if you like, and listen to it as a podcast. It should be available at the podcast player of your choice. I know we're on Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and if there's another one that you use, you should be able to just search for us by name, Ask a Web Geek. And if we're not there, please let me know. Write to me, cj@askawebgeek.com. Let me know that we're not on your podcast player, and I'll make sure that we get you there. We get there for you. Something like that. So let me know. I would love for you to check out the show in that way as well. Quick disclaimer, you must be willing to have your question or issue addressed in a public forum. This is not legal or professional advice. You accept responsibility for everything. Obviously, as I just mentioned, the Facebook group is public. The YouTube page is public. My website is basically public. Now, if there is something you want us to look at and there's any kind of sensitive information or data or anything like that, of course, I'm going to hide that. I'm going to hide passwords. I can hide all kinds of stuff off screen. So just let me know if there's any kind of a concern like that. Otherwise, we'll just know that anything that you ask us about is totally okay to cover live on the program together. And keep in mind, this is not legal or professional advice. I'm a web geek. I know a lot about websites and marketing and the internet, but of course you need to have your own professionals in your business, an attorney, a CPA. These are the folks, of course, you need to consult with before you make any business decisions. And at the end of the day, you accept responsibility for everything. Who am I? I'm CJ Gilbert, and I'm a bit of a web geek. I've been a web developer for over 20 years, and now I'm also a speaker and author. Was so fortunate somewhere along the line to write the book 5 Golden Keys to Sharpen Your Website. And in addition to building websites, maintaining websites, I also get to do a lot of teaching and speaking and hosting and helping people to use the tools and technology for their business. And that's what we're here today to help to show you another piece of technology that you can use to enhance your business. My name is CJ, and I'm here to help. I understand the internet's a jungle. It's easy to get lost. It's easy to feel overwhelmed. And hopefully I can make you laugh and you can learn something along the way and we can get your business done. I believe that my business is serving your business. I believe that my business can act like a magnifying glass, like a megaphone, and help you do more business and do better business. I want you to be on the lookout for your golden nugget today. You know, our minds are so interesting. Every time you hear me speak, or you watch one of my videos, or you read my book, you're going to learn something new every time. Isn't that amazing? And it's just the way that our brains are built. So, for example, uh, all you have to do is be on the lookout for your golden nugget, and you're going to find it, and you're going to get something different every time. Even if you watch the same material over and over again, you're still going to find something new and different each time. All you have to do is be on the lookout for it. I recommend you grab some paper, draw a line right down the middle, label the left side notes and the right side actions, and that gives you a place to take kind of your stream of consciousness notes down the one side, and then on the other side, those specific action points that you want to make sure that you're getting to and that you're highlighting for yourself. Make sure to star those golden nuggets too. Ask a Web Geek, sponsored by a couple wonderful companies. Number one, The Active Life Company. Check out their all-natural skin protectant at theactivelifecompany.com. Melissa has been a member of our community for a long time, as one of our official mug sponsors of the show. So I'm going to salute Melissa, take a sip of my coffee, and I invite you to check out theactivelifecompany.com. This is their flagship product right here, Cover, the all-natural skin protectant, and there's now variations for men and women. So whether you're in the snow or in the sea or in the sand, this is a product that you can use to make sure your skin stays healthy. And take advantage of this really cool discount code that she made just for you, Web Geek. All one word, all spelled out together like this, no spaces, Web Geek, to get 15% off of your order. Thank you so much, Melissa. Glad that you're part of our community. Want to invite you to check out what we're doing Thursdays and Fridays in association with exceptional entrepreneurs. We're doing business networking, virtual business networking. We've been experimenting with this since March, and we have been having a great time. So we've been doing this, wow, 9 months now. Oh my goodness, how has this year been for you, right? Crazy. But I'm so pleased for what we've been able to do in this format. I don't want to spend a lot of time. I still got a lot of material to go over with you, but you can check out all the details here on meetup.com. Search for Exceptional Entrepreneurs. We have a meeting on Thursday and Friday. I open the doors at 11:30 to help people get checked in, make sure their Zoom's working, see if they have any questions, and facilitate an open networking time. Then at noon, we pull everyone back into the main meeting room, and we have an hour meeting, which includes education, networking education, how to make the most of your time. Everyone has an opportunity to introduce themselves. Then we have a speaker. Then we have shout outs, testimonials, and more. It's a great time. It's very efficient. We run that from noon to 1 Pacific. And then a lot of folks drop off right at the 1 o'clock time. You can always count on that so that you can get to your next meeting. But you're welcome to stick around because we do a little more open networking after that. We do that both Thursdays and Fridays, and I'll invite you to get all the information at meetup.com. It's my pleasure to lead that meeting and facilitate that, and I hope that you join us this year. We're going to keep it going. I also want to invite you to check out my free video workshop at mywebsitesafari.com. Mywebsitesafari.com. This is my free video workshop that shows you the 5 keys to unlock the profit hidden in your website. And nothing technical. There's nothing technical in this. It's all good, solid ideas that you can use to get more out of your website. Those things I mentioned earlier: attract more sales, attract more customers, make more sales, and improve your customer service. Learn more at my website, safari.com. And that's kind of the do-it-yourself version. If you want CJ to help you with it, I invite you to check out my website treasure hunt at websitetreasurehunt.com. This is where I take the 85-point treasure map that I spell out in my book, and we go through it together and we look at your website. And this is a paid service. It's less than $200 right now, and we can take a full safari through your website looking for every single place that we can enhance it so you can attract more sales and help your customers at the same time. Check that out at websitetreasurehunt.com. I've got a 12-minute video there explaining exactly what's involved and what you get out of that. Buckle up. It's time for you to take a drink of water. I've got a lot of great material for you as we jump into the next segment, Ask a Web Geek. So last time on Ask a Web Geek, my last episode, as I was mentioning, episode 39, I called it my New Year Reboot. And what I did is I talked a little bit about the newer, it's not a new platform. I keep saying that, but it's kind of new for me. I've been playing around with it for, I've known about it for years. I've been playing around with it for months, and I've really been actively using it for several weeks now. More and more. And it's called Twitch, and it's a place where you can go live and do live streaming of all kinds of stuff. People use it for video games, but it's exploding in the talk shows, podcast, people just chatting kind of categories. So check that out. Go to the website AskAWebGeek.com and watch our last episode 39 to learn all about that. And I would love, my biggest request this week from you is, would you please follow me on Twitch? You'll find a link to that there. You'll find a link possibly below this video. So check that out. Learn more about that platform and what I'm doing there in episode 39. And then, just to help you with a few more resources, going back in episodes, in episode 38, we talked about how to use Google My Business. You want to make sure you're signed up with Google My Business to make sure that you're listed on the maps and on the search engine results. I went into more detail there. It's free to join Google My Business. And then in episode 37, we talked about finding your content. The question to CJ was, hey, CJ, where do I come up with ideas for my blogs, my social media posts, my email blasts? And that's what episode 37 was all about, finding your content that you can share in those places. And then episode 36, be found on Google, how you can make sure that your business is found and your website is found on Google, which we then kind of covered again in episode 38 when we talked specifically about Google My Business. Those are some resources, hopefully, that you can use. Check out our the conversations going on in our Facebook group. You're welcome to drop your own question right there on the page. Ask whatever you like. We'll take care of you. In addition to that, there's some ongoing conversations and questions and topics like this one, recommending some good books and resources. Please jump in. Add your own comments. We'd love to know what you're reading. We'd love to know what you recommend. So check that all out in the Facebook group. All right, here we go. Here's the big deal of our show today: how to build a border or scene for your virtual room in Zoom. I'm going to take a deep breath because I'm about to present a lot of material for you. And I don't want you to feel like I've unleashed the fire hose at you, but you may feel a little bit like that today. But keep in mind, every one of these is a step that you can take. And again, you'll be able to watch this recording so you can pause it, you can go back, and you can make sure that you get every little thing that you need to do to set this up. Hi, Doug. How are you doing today? Glad that you're with us today. Thanks for saying hi. I'm spilling all the secrets. I'm sharing all the secrets today, so you're in the right place at the right time. Please feel free to share this video to your own timeline, your own pages, because here we go. We're about to pull back the curtain and teach everyone how they can build a border or a scene for your virtual room in Zoom. So the first thing that I got to tell you is say, congratulations, you're a broadcaster. You know, we've all been doing this We've all been doing this business stuff out of our home all year, and it's new for a lot of people. It's not too new for me. I've been working out of my home for years, but a lot of folks have been forced to do that. And all of the meetings we used to go to in person turned into these online meetings. We've all been using Zoom and these other platforms to continue meeting. And what that means is you're now a broadcaster. You're broadcasting from your own office, your own home office, studio, whatever you want to call it. And so today I'm going to introduce you to a piece of professional broadcast software. And there's a lot of things you can do in this software, which is very cool. And as I mentioned before, I'll tell you again, you can use it to go live on Facebook, just like I'm doing right now. You could use it to go live on YouTube. You could use it to go live on Twitch. I'll be live later today. You can use it to record your own show right to your own computer, and it's not live anywhere. You can just use it to record yourself and then produce your own show and then upload it to the other places later. So you can do all those things with the same piece of software. And today I'm going to be talking about a brand new button they added, which now allows you to use the same software, the same setup, the same scenes inside of Zoom as your own little camera, as your own little square. And that enables you to add that logo and have a really professional look inside of Zoom. So that's what we're going to be going on about today. Here it comes. The name of the software is OBS Studio. OBS Studio. And the website looks like this. It is a free piece of software. It is known as open source software, which means it is free and you can download it, and it is supported by the community of people that are using it. You can just jump over to Google and Google OBS Studio. It's probably going to be this very top option at obsproject.com. You can download the latest version. They have versions available for Windows, Mac, and Linux. I know that this feature I'm talking about, the virtual camera, I know it's available on Windows 10. I do not know if it's available on Mac. I do not know if it's available on Linux. And I also know it's only available in the latest release, 26, that you can see here on the screen. So those are some caveats. You've got to be using this latest release, 26. So check that out, see if it'll work for you. You're going to Google OBS Studio. You're going to download it, install it. And what we're using today is we're going to be talking about the virtual camera. The setup is exactly the same. It's just a matter of what you do, how you go live. You can click one button to turn it into your virtual camera, or you can click a different button to start your stream. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm using OBS right now, and I'm streaming into Facebook. You can do the exact same thing to YouTube, same thing to Twitch. There's lots of settings, lots of things to configure, and I don't have time to go over every single one of the settings and features and buttons and gizmos, but I want to give you all the information you need to set this up at a base level, add your logo, and get yourself using the virtual camera inside Zoom. So after you install the software, it's going to look like this. I know it's a blank square, it's a blank canvas, and you don't know what to do next. That's okay. I'm going to show you exactly what to do. So let me orient you to the software. Let me help you learn what's going on. What are we looking at here? So the very first thing to share with you is we need one scene. So that's the first thing that I'm going to teach you today, the scene. The scene is our virtual stage. So right now I want you to recognize I'm switching between two different scenes. In this scene, I have my slides and my little camera, so I can go, hi, and here's the slide we're on, and blah, 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 blah. But I can switch back to another scene where I just have my slideshow. So we're transitioning between two different scenes, but you don't have to have multiple scenes. You can set up one scene, and this is what you're going to use for your virtual camera. So today we're going to talk about how to set up one scene. It becomes our virtual stage, and that's what we're then going to pipe into the Zoom software. So here's how you do that. In this far column right here, I'll zoom in on this a little bit. This far column over here is labeled scenes. So this is step number one. We're going to create a scene. And what you do is you'll click this plus in the bottom right-hand corner. Can you see my cursor over here? Maybe. Yeah. So you can see there's a little plus right here. You'll need to make sure there's something listed in this. When I tested this, it gave me a blank scene and it called it scene. So if that's already there, great. If there's nothing in this column, you'll need to click this plus and add a scene. It doesn't matter what it's called. It could be called scene. It doesn't matter what you call it. So all you need is one scene. Now, onto that one scene, we're going to be using this next column to add several sources. So let's talk about that real quick. We're going to be adding multiple sources, and here are all the different pieces of the puzzle. The pieces of the puzzles are your video camera. And again, you pick which of these you want and how complicated you want it to be. It can be as simple as you want this to be. It can be a single background image and then your camera and then your logo. It could be just your camera and then your logo. Now, what I'm going to show you is a little bit more complicated, but again, just start with what makes sense to you. Okay. So today I'm going to be talking about how to add your video camera, your logo, a background image like my jungle border or jungle background, a border like the little green border I have around my camera right here, and then some additional effects. Again, all of this is optional. Make it as simple as you need it to be to begin with, and then increase in complexity as you go along. So let's just start by adding some sources. So as I mentioned in this second column right here, there's the little plus button. And when you click this plus button, you're going to see a lot of options because there's all kinds of different kinds of sources that you can add. So the first thing that you'll need to add is your video camera, and that's what's known as a video capture device. So on this list right here that pops up when you hit the plus, one of these is video capture device. When you click that button, it wants you to give it a name. You can just name it webcam. And then it's going to want you to choose the webcam. So you'll click on this drop down that I'm showing you right here. Let me zoom in a little bit on that for you. So the first option is this drop down. You're going to choose your camera. So on mine, it looks like this. I pick the HD Pro Webcam C920. You're going to pick whatever your webcam is. So once you've chosen that option, it's going to pop in right there. It may immediately show your picture. It might not. I was doing too many things at once, so it didn't show mine here. But the rest of the settings here below it, the resolution, the FPS, the video format, I'm hoping all of those things pre-fill for you and you won't need to touch any of them. Like I mentioned, there's a whole lot of settings, but I'm just going to show you the basics. Let me know what other questions that you have. So again, you're adding a video source. You're selecting that you want it to be let me go back a screen here. You want it to be a video capture device. You're going to name it webcam. You're going to pick your webcam. And then when you click OK, it's now going to show up on that scene and you can move it. You can adjust it. Immediately, there's going to be these borders around the outside. It's kind of hard to see on this picture, but can you see that there's this little red line that comes all the way around my screen up there? And that's what you can use to adjust it. I'm getting real excited here. Let me take a breath. So you have a choice how you want to set this up. So I'm going to ask you a couple questions. How do you envision this looking? In the most simplest thing you could do, you just want this maybe to fill the entire screen, and then you're going to put your logo over it. You'll add those two things and you'll be done. Your webcam, your logo, and you'll be all done. I'm going to show you a couple more steps. So the first thing to do is to position your webcam in the way you want it to look. Now, the easiest thing that you can possibly do is right-click right on that square, or if you just clicked OK, it's already selected, and then you can go up to this top menu and you can click Edit, Transform, and then Fit to Screen. It's this drop down right here. Let me get out of the way. Edit, Transform, Fit to Screen. The other thing you can do is right-click directly on that webcam that you just dropped on the scene, and you'll get a pop-up that looks just like this. Transform, fit to screen. Now, what that's going to do is it's automatically going to fit your camera, zoop, 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 to your screen size. And if that's good for you, leave it just like that. It'll fill up the whole thing. Now, what I personally did is I dragged in those corners just a little bit because I wanted a little bit of room outside of it so that I could have a background image. So it's up to you. Do you want it to fill your whole screen and then add the logo over? You'd be done at that point. Or you could drag in the corners of that webcam just a little bit so that you have room to add a border and a background. Up to you. So you choose now which way you want to do it. And yes, you can have multiple scenes. You can have multiple ways of setting this up. Totally up to you. I want to give you information without giving you too much information, right? So I'm trying to ride that fence. Doug is telling me he found it in the Ubuntu repository. Awesome. Awesome. Great. He's a Linux guy, so that's what he's checking out over there. Awesome, Doug. Thank you. All right. So once you've added your webcam, you've positioned it where you want to. Maybe you want it to fill your screen. Maybe you want to drag in those corners just a little bit. I dragged in the corners a little bit so that I could add the other pieces. Let me show you what's next. So the next pieces are, again, more sources. We're going to click that plus button and we're going to add some more sources. Now, the next three things I'm going to show you how to add is all the exact same thing. Your logo, your background image, and even the border around your camera. These are all going to be an image source. Now, you're going to have these images already saved to your computer and know where they are and be able to find them and get to them. So hopefully you already have your background image ready to go. There's different borders that you can find online. I created mine in a very simple way. So up to you whether you want to do that, find them, make them. Let me know if you need any help with that later. But I'm going to show you how it's done, and then you can play with this later. So the next thing that you're going to do is go back to that same plus that's underneath the sources column. When you click the plus, this time you're going to click image, like you see right here. And on the next screen, it's going to say, what image do you want to now bring into the stage here? So you'll click the browse button and you'll go to that folder where you have those images ready to go, ready to save. And when you click the image and then you click OK, it's going to drop that image right on top of everything on your scene. So here's a great time to tell you that you want to adjust the size and the position of these new image source layers. You can literally click on them, move them around where you want them to be on that scene. And there's even a little lock icon in that scene column. When you've got an image right where you want it to be and you don't want it to move, click the lock. That's going to freeze it on the screen and prevent you from moving it again, because it's really easy when you start adding multiple sources to start dragging things and you move something you didn't mean to move. So after you get one of these sources in place and you like where it is, click the lock, lock it in place. You can always unlock it to move it, lock it in place, and then you can move other things around it. The other thing I need to tell you about is that where these things appear in that list of sources, it matters because we're stacking layers that appear on top of other layers. So keep in mind the things that are on the top of that list, they're going to be in the front of everything on the scene. And the layers that are underneath, they're going to be behind the things on the screen. So right now, I'll just point out my layers look like this. I've got my background image, which is in the far back, which is at the far bottom. And then I've got my slideshow, which is on top of that. And then I've got my logos, which is on top of that. And then I've got my webcam, which is on top of that. So let me show you what this might look like for you. So after you've stacked up a couple of these sources, let me zoom into this a little bit more. This right here is what your sources could look like. It could look like these four. Let me zoom in a little more. So you might have your logo, you might have your video border, you might have your webcam, and then you might have your background image. And they'll need to be in this order because you want your background image to be at the very bottom so that it's behind everything. And then you're going to have your webcam. Let me just switch real quick to what we're building right now. Here's what you're building. I don't have the background image on this particular view. Let me show you the one with the background image. here's what we're building. So we've got the background image. In my case, it's the jungle. And then in front of that, on top of it, we've got the webcam. That's me inside this box. And then on top of the webcam, we have the border. That's this green line that you see right here. It's an image. It's a square image with a hole in the middle, and it's positioned on top of the webcam, and it's dragged into place exactly as I want it. And then on top of that, I have my logos. So do you see how that's built up on the stage here? We've got the background image, the webcam, the border, and then the logos. So going back to my slides, so this is what it's going to look like in your sources column once you have all 4 of these things in place. And you can also see here the lock icon I was telling you about. The eyeball icon, by the way, is to toggle on and off whether you can see this thing or not. So that's used for different things. I'll tell you about that if you want. But the eyeball, it doesn't delete it from the scene, but it hides it from the scene, so you can no longer see it. This may be helpful to you or not in different ways. Once you've added the thing, you like where it is, click that little lock icon and lock it in place. So you can add as many layers as you'd like. Just keep in mind this whole on top, underneath thing. Whatever's on top of the list is going to appear above, or rather in front of, all the items that are below it. And I want to encourage you, start simple. I know I'm showing you a lot of steps. I'm even going to show you some more things that you can add, but I want you to recognize that you can start as simple as you want with this. Just your webcam and a logo. That alone is going to make you stand out in all the Zoom meetings that you go to for the rest of the year. So start simple and build up. The sky's the limit. You're only limited by your creativity. Did I misspell the word skies? I may have. I'm not an English major over here. So now we're going to go into a few advanced techniques. And I just want to mention that you can use multiple scenes like I'm doing. You know, right now you're staring at my slideshow scene, but I can instantly transition you over to my big camera scene. And then I can take you back again to my slides. And then I've got even another scene where I've got my slides with my camera in the corner. And I'm just going back and forth between these scenes. You don't have to have multiple scenes. You can just have the one scene that you're using for Zoom. But I want to show you what's possible to get you thinking, to get some ideas crunching. So you might want to have multiple scenes if you're going to be using it like I do to create your own show or to record yourself on some videos. Then it might be really helpful for you to have your big camera and then have your slideshow. You can use this for slideshow. You can use it for screen sharing. And like I write right here, you can have versions with or without your webcam. So here I am with my slides and my webcam, but I can say, now let's look at the slides. And I just take you over to this one. There's this weird glitch where it's doing this flashy thing. Don't worry about that. Hopefully that's going to be fixed in the next update. Then the next thing to tell you is some effects that you can add and transitions. So I'm using a very plain transition. A transition is kind of an effect that takes you from one scene to another one. I was playing around with a Christmas style one, and I've got some other ones, but if you want to, there's multiple transitions that you can add, and there's different kinds of effects that you can add too. So I want to show you a bonus, and we're gonna show you how to make it snow. Let me demonstrate what that looks like. So the first thing I'm going to take you back to my big screen here, so you can see what happens when I turn on the snow. So here it comes now. How cool is that, right? So here it is snowing in the webcam, in the web cave. And I'm going to show you exactly how we do this. This might not be applicable all year round, but the concept will be applicable all year round. This is just a little snowfall, but as you can imagine, there's a lot of other things that you can do with this. So let me show you how to do it. First of all, I'm going to turn off the snow. Okay, let's go back to the slides. So what we're going to be doing, bonus fun, we're going to make it snow. So I'm going to show you how to get to this next thing that you'll need to do, this. And you're going to Google this crazy, crazy word, Snowverlay. Oh my gosh. This is an amalgamation of the word snow and overlay. We're gonna add an overlay to our video, and it's snow. So the very clever nerds that invented this have called this Snowverlay. So all you do is go to Google, type in Snowverlay, and the very first thing that pops up is going to be Snowverlay by Twitch Center. Once you click that link, you're going to see a website like this, and all you have to do is be able to get to this URL. See it highlighted right here on the screen. This is the magic link that you're going to need to copy to make this work. Now, there's a lot of settings over here you can figure. You can change the color and the size and the speed. Feel free to play around with that if you want to. And whatever changes you make over here, you're just going to need to make sure that you grab that link right here when you're done fiddling with it. And then let me show you what you do to get it into OBS. We're going to add another source, but this time we're calling it, we're going to be choosing the one that's labeled browser. We need to add a browser source. You can just name it whatever you want. Snow is what I name mine, or Snowverlay. And note that this source must be on top. Now, when you add a source to a scene, it automatically puts it at the top. But I just have to point out, you need the snow to be on the top layer to appear on top of everything else. So just note that. So you're going to click New, Browser, name it Snow, and then on your next screen, it's going to look like this. Remember that URL I had you copy from this page? Oops, this one. You're going to grab this URL right here, and then this is the box you're going to stick it right here where it says URL. Now, if you already know the width and height of your stage, of your scene, you can enter that information in here. If you don't, that's okay. Just put in the URL and click OK. And then on the very next screen, once it's listed here, and you can see I now have a snow layer at the very top. Again, you can right click right on that layer and then choose transform and fit to screen. That's going to automatically make it as big as your screen is and fit it right there. And you should see it snowing immediately. You can toggle the snow on and off with the little eyeball that I showed you on the sources. And that is how you add the snow. So we've played with it. We've made it as simple as we want or as complicated as we want, but there's one more step now to get it to show up inside your Zoom. At this point, you're set up, right? You've got your webcam, you've got your border, you've got your logo, whatever it is that you may want to set up on your stage. Again, start simple, build in complexity. And then when you're ready to make it go live, there's a couple buttons off to the side. So what we're doing is we're going to be connecting it to Zoom today. Again, you can use it to go live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. There's different settings to do that. But the simplest thing we're doing today is connecting this to Zoom. So there's 2 steps. I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like in each place. So the 2 steps are, in OBS, we're going to click a button that's called Start Virtual Camera. And then we're going to go to Zoom, and we're going to have to select that virtual camera as our camera. This is a great time to point out to you that you need to have OBS open and running before you open Zoom. And even though I've said that, I'm now going to contradict myself, because if you forget, you can open OBS and then change your camera and all that kind of stuff. It's just going to be easier for you if you open OBS, you start your virtual camera, and then you open Zoom, or then you connect to the Zoom meeting. It is possible to do it the other way around, but what typically happens is if you're using another application and it's grabbing your webcam, then OBS can't see your webcam because it's in use by a different software, and you'll run into some confusion there. So I can eliminate all that confusion by saying, open OBS first, make sure your stage looks the way you want it, click Start Virtual Camera, and then go to Zoom. Here's what it looks like inside of OBS. We have a new button in this latest release I was telling you about. There's a new button right here, and it says Start Virtual Camera. So after you have your scene set up, you're ready to go live, you're going to click Start Virtual Camera. And then over in Zoom, you now need to select it as your camera. So you'll use this little drop down arrow right here next to the start or stop video button, whatever your video button is called. Use the little arrow and you'll now have a new source. You'll now have a new camera inside Zoom, and it is the OBS virtual camera. So if you, and it won't show up or it won't work until you've clicked the start virtual camera button in OBS. So you click start virtual camera, then you come to Zoom, then you click it as your camera here. And when you do that, all the pieces are connected and you are now live inside Zoom with your professional looking stage setup. I know there was a lot of information there that I went over, but I wanted to show you exactly how to do it and how you can get started. Make it as simple as you need to get started. It could just be your webcam and a logo over the top. That alone is going to make you look different, better, professional than all the other folks on the Zoom call with you. And then just expand your creativity. Background image, borders, whatever you want to do. Let me know what questions you have. What do you need to go over again? Now, the beauty of this being a recording is you can start me over, you can rewind, you can pause me, you can go back and look at each one of those steps as often as you need to. But then there still may be something that even after you've watched it, you still don't understand how something works or it's not working right for you. And I want you to feel free to come back here and ask me all the questions you have about making this work. If we need to make this a part 2, part 3, part 4, I would love to do that. I don't know what your questions are at this point. So check it out, give it a try, download the software, start playing around with it, and then let me know what you run into at that point. What causes you pain next? Come on back to Ask a Web Geek, jump into our Facebook group and make your very own post that says, hey, CJ, I was trying to do that OBS thing and my questions are this, this, and this. And I'll cover it in the next show. I'll answer it right there. Somehow I'll make sure to get those answers to you. So give it a try, see if you can make it work. It's definitely going to make you stand out in your next Zoom call. And then I would love to see what you build. Take a picture, take a screenshot, jump into Exceptional Entrepreneurs with us Thursdays and Fridays and show it off. Show us off what you've built. And I'm really excited. I'm really glad to see what that's going to be. So let me know what questions you have and how we can support you. And I can't wait to see what you build. I want to thank our sponsors one more time as we're closing out the show today. We were sponsored by The Active Life Company at theactivelifecompany.com. Check out their all-natural skin protectant and make sure to use our code WebGeek to save yourself 15% off that order. And tell Melissa hi. I'm sure she'll watch this episode at some point. Hi, Melissa. Check out what we're doing at Exceptional Entrepreneurs Thursdays and Fridays. We're having our virtual business networking. You can get all the links and details at meetup.com. Check out my free video workshop. Learn how to make your website work for you. Uncover all the hidden profit inside of your website at mywebsitesafari.com. This is a totally free class. Again, it's in 7 short videos. You can take as much time or as little time as you want to go through this and apply all the principles to your website. If you need extra help, I would encourage you to sign up for my website treasure hunt. This is the personalized version where I walk you through, take you by the hand, and we have our very own website treasure hunt together. Well, I'll take you through your website with my 85-point treasure map, and we'll look at all the ways that we can attract more customers, make more sales, and improve your customer service. All the links and details will be at our website, AskAWebGeek.com. I would love for you to come join our Facebook group, subscribe on YouTube, and check out all the resources that I'm sharing there and here and everywhere. Thank you so much for being with me today. I know there was a lot of information, but I wanted to show you exactly what I was doing and how you could do it too. And I welcome your comments. There's no such thing as a stupid question. This stuff gets really difficult and really convoluted and really difficult to talk about and confusing. And I get confused, and I'm the Web Geek. So it's all a matter of taking it one step at a time. Let me know what questions you have. Let me know which steps you're getting hung up on, and I would love to help you get through that. Check us out on all those places. Check us out, AskAWebGeek.com. Join our Facebook group. Subscribe on YouTube. Check out the last episode to see what I'm doing over on Twitch. I'd love for you to follow me there. And thanks so much for being with me today. Hopefully you're going to be able to take a break, take a drink of water, and come back and watch this again so that you can make it all happen for you. My name is CJ Gilbert, and on behalf of Gilbert Studios Website Design and the Ask a Web Geek podcast, I just want to let you know, we understand the internet is a jungle. It's way too easy to get lost, to fall down the wrong path, to find yourself stuck, to get caught in the quicksand, to be distracted, fall down a rabbit hole, and at the end of the day, you did not end up where you wanted to go. And instead, I encourage you to hire a well-trained guide, join with a tribe of people that can lead you through and get you where you want to go. Wishing you a wonderful Wednesday. I want you to have a wonderful week, and we'll see you again next time in the web jungle. Anyway, let me rewind a little bit. I need to take a break now. Maybe you do too. One more shot with the hat. Thanks so much for being here with us. Yeah, it was a lot of information, I know, but there's, there was no way around it, right? I had to show you all the steps. I just hopefully my encouragement to make it as simple as possible and then increase in complexity. Hopefully that came through. Hopefully you realize you can really just start with those 2 layers, your webcam and your logo, and go live from there. Thanks so much for being here with me. Really appreciate you. And we'll see you again next time. On behalf of Gilbert Studios, Ask a Web Geek, and the whole crowd, thanks for being with us. We'll see you again next time. Have a wonderful week. God bless. The internet's a jungle. Roar!